Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Vodacom Mandeville Indoor Sports Centre here in Johannesburg, South Africa. Is the 2021 Commonwealth Games 3x3 qualification tournament. Obviously, Commonwealth Games going on in Birmingham, England in 2022, and we'll be starting the action here at the in Johannesburg in the next few minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Vodacom Mandeville Indoor Sports Centre here in Johannesburg, South Africa, for the 2021 Commonwealth Games Wheelchair Basketball 3x3 qualifiers. Game 1, we have the teams from Namibia and Rwanda. Introducing the team from Rwanda. Wearing jersey number 4, we have players Hakizama Emmanuel. Number 5, Muneneze Diogune. Number 6, Muhira Hashimu. And number 7, Wampunga Meshak. Manager for the Rwanda team is Jean-Paul Irwa. And introducing the team from Namibia. Player number 2, Timus Festus. Player number 4, Kamenya Kakumba. Player number 6, Ingo David. And player number 8, Woodley Gowasen. Your manager for the Namibian team, Isaac Mayanenge. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Action's about to get underway here in Johannesburg. The Rwandan and Namibian teams preparing their final warm-ups, and we'll be underway shortly for the first of the Commonwealth Games 3x3 wheelchair basketball qualifications. In the African zone, we have taking part in this particular competition Rwanda, Namibia, South Africa, obviously the hosts. We have Gambia as well as Kenya. That's in the men's section, and in the women's section we have Kenya as well as South Africa. I will be joined at some stage during the games with the head of IWBF 3x3, Mr. Luc Vergersen from the Netherlands, and we'll be chatting more about the 3x3 game, the development of it, and all the events coming up in the coming years. So stay tuned, we're about to get underway. Really signed up, so it's great to see some fresh faces here playing international basketball. And of course the 3x3 version of the game certainly is a new format for a lot of these players, so we anticipate it'll take a while for them to get the hang of it, but great to see the development of some of the new countries and the fact that they're here taking part. Shot there by Namibia's number 4, Kamenya Kapuma. All right, Rwanda in position now. The captain is Wampunga Meshak. That violation there for the 12-second shot clock violation. Of course, in the 5-on-5 version of the game, the teams have 24 seconds to get the shot up. In the shortened 3x3 version of the games, they only have 12. For those of you who have not been exposed to the 3x3 version of the game, for point scoring, each point within the arc counts for 1 point. Every point scored behind the arc or the semicircle is 2 points. Situation, the inbound does not get put back into play where the ball goes out, like in the traditional 5-on-5 version. You will see the 3x3 logo on the court, and that the possession will start with what's called a check ball, and all inbounds will take place on that check box mark. So the Rwandan captain Meshek unable to convert. So Rwanda hold a narrow 1-point lead. Of course, the length of the game is a lot shortened, 10 minutes maximum play, and of course, if any team reaches 21 points, that will mean the game stops immediately. So if a team is able to score 21 points within 5 minutes, the game will stop at the 5-minute mark. 8 minutes, 11 left in this game, and Rwanda lead 1-0. Namibia now in possession. Number 2 for Namibia is Timus Festus. Unable to make anything happen there. Rwanda pick up the possession. Also, teams have to, when the possession turns over, they have to get out of the 1-point area and go behind the arc. Point there for Namibia, so they draw level. So scores at the moment 1-1. Of course, welcome to everybody tuning in from around the world. Great excitement here in South Africa to be able to host the first official IWBF 3x3 event since the Paralympics in Tokyo. And although this format of the game is quite new to a lot of these guys, a lot of excitement from the players, especially the new countries coming in, and great to see the development of the game in Africa. Turnover ball there, but Namibia have not cleared it as yet. Current score, Namibia take a narrow lead, 2-1. 7 minutes left of this first encounter between Rwanda and Namibia. We'll talk more to some of the different rules in this version of the game shortly, when I'm joined by Luc Vergosen, and he will help us clear up a lot of the different rules. Timeout called. Of course, both teams are allowed one timeout each. Our referees on court at the moment is Mahmoud Hassan from Egypt, and he's joined by Natasha Anono from South Africa. all the technical officials during the lead up to this particular event. I spent a few days going through various workshops. Also a version of the game that's quite new to a lot of the officials. Right, seven minutes left to play. Namibia holding a 2-1 lead. Ball turned over, so Rwanda need to get it over the arc. And stolen by Namibia. Can they make something happen here? In possession now for Namibia. We have player number 2 there was Festus, Timus Festus. Free throw by Namibian number 8, Rudley Gawaseb. Sorry, number 6. Correction, number 6. Ingo David. Rwanda in possession now. Their captain, Meshak, unable to convert. Namibia's rebound. Good recovery though by the Rwandan captain. And in possession now, trying to draw level there. Not sure whether that was meant to be a pass or a shot, but Rwandan captain picked it up. Rebound on that occasion by Namibia. Namibia converts again, and that is Ingo David. So pulling out a 2-point lead, and we have just under 6 minutes left in this particular encounter. So Namibia still in the lead, 3-1. Shot goes up there in desperation by the number 4 for Namibia. It is Kamenya Kapuma. Coming up next is the encounter between the host nation South Africa and the men's pool, and they are taking on the Kenyans. And followed by that, Rwanda will take on Gambia. The Gambian outfits had a bit of a nightmare journey through to South Africa, traveling via Senegal and Dubai, and they only arrived in late last night, so it is anticipated they'll be quite tired early on, but nevertheless good to see them making the journey all the way from the northwest of Africa. Five minutes to play. Namibia 4, Rwanda 1. Good work there by the Rwandans, unable to convert, and the rebound picked up by Rwanda. Rwanda desperately want to start converting, and they do with their captain. Great effort there by their number 7, Meshak. Gawaseb in possession. Passes it through to Timus Festus. He's unable to convert. Rwanda looking to narrow the gap to 1 point. The captain puts up the shot. Rebound picked up by Gawasep for Namibia, but the pass is turned over and Rwanda will pick up the possession. Just over 4 minutes to play. Of course, if the teams finish level after the 10 minutes, we go into an overtime period, and the first team to score 2 points will be declared the winner. Mashak turns the ball over. Namibia will need to clear the ball. So Namibia 5, Rwanda 2. Namibia looking to extend their lead. Unable to convert. Timeout called. Back to the action here, and Namibia picks up the rebound. Looking to see out this game, pick up their first win in international competition. I'm sure that'll be a great feeling for these men from the west coast of Southern Africa. The African zone is split up into 5 sub-zones. We have a northern zone, a western zone, eastern, central, and of course a southern zone. So countries from all around the different zones are represented here in Johannesburg. Of course, the winning country here in Johannesburg will represent the African zone at next year's Commonwealth Games. In possession for Namibia. Team is Festus, but 3-second violation called against Namibia. Aside from a few adaptations to the rule, most of the other rules of the game apply here. So the 3-second violation, of course, is one of those particular rules. Namibia in position, holding a 4-point lead as the clock slowly ticking down. We're reaching the 2-minute mark, and at this stage it's looking likely that Namibia have done enough to see out this game, but of course, as we know in basketball, anything's possible. 12-second clock violation by the Namibians, so Rwanda will take possession, the other way around by Rwanda, so Namibia will pick up possession. In possession for Namibia is Ingo David. Foul. Basket there converted by Ingo David for Namibia. So Namibia extending their lead 7-2. Shot goes up by the captain for Rwanda, Mashak, unable to convert. Ball turned over. Rwanda take the possession, desperately trying to get some points here. Good defensive work there by number 2 from Namibia, Timus Festus. Can Rwanda get some points on the board as we move into the last minute of this first encounter here in Johannesburg? Namibia puts the shot up, unable to convert. 6 for Rwanda there. Mahira Hashimu gets the shot up, doesn't drop for him on that occasion. Can he pick up the possession? Out of bounds though, and last touch there was by the Namibians. 36 seconds left in this game, and Meshach tries to get the 2-point shot up, gets fouled in the process, and he will now go to the line for 2 shots. Doesn't convert the first one. Right, just a reminder, coming up the next game we've got the host nation South Africa, and they will take on Kenya. Inbounded there by Timus Festus, finds Ingo David. He's unable to get the shot up, but he's fouled in the process. And Namibia will have the free throw. Converted there by Ingo David. And 24 seconds left of this first game between Rwanda and Namibia. As I mentioned earlier, both nations are new members of the IWBF, and great work being done at the moment by IWBF Africa, getting new countries to become part of the wheelchair basketball family. Still a lot of work, of course, to be done, and as the clock runs down, Namibia will take this first encounter against Rwanda. Congratulations to them, their first ever international victory, and we'll be back shortly with the game between South Africa and Kenya. Welcome back to the Vodacom Mandeville Indoor Sports Centre here in Johannesburg, South Africa. Coming up shortly, the second game of the 2021 Commonwealth Games 3x3 wheelchair basketball qualifying tournament between the host nation South Africa men and the men from Kenya. I'll be joined in the commentary booth by Max McLean, head of coaching for the southern zone of IWBF Africa, as well as a very seasoned coach in the wheelchair basketball world, and we'll be chatting a bit more as the game gets underway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Vodacom Mandeville Indoor Sports Centre. Coming up, the game between South Africa and Kenya. Introducing the team from Kenya. Player number 4, Adeyo Otieno. Number 5, Itakin Kiplian. Number 14, Robert Ngugi. Number 13, James Kangete. Manager Andrew Njui. And of course, welcoming the host nation, South Africa. Number 4, number 6, Ellen Matatase. Number 10, Rachetse Molete. Number 14, Captain Cecil Dumont. And number 15, Samanga Mbele. Manager, Willie Milner. All right, just about to get underway here with Game 2 of the 2021 Commonwealth Games 3x3 wheelchair basketball qualifiers. And I'm joined in commentary for this particular encounter by Max McLean, head coach of the South African 5-on-5 wheelchair basketball team. Welcome, Max.
Well, thanks, Jerry. Thanks for inviting me up. It's going to be an interesting day.
South Africa trying to make a quick start there. Rachetse Moleti unable to convert. Cecil Dumont sets up Alan Matatase, and it doesn't drop.
I think they should just slow their game down a little bit and just play their game and not Kenya's game.
And now Kenya will have the opportunity, but slight lapse in concentration. Ball goes out of bounds. South Africa will look to put their first points on the board. Of course, Max, quite a different version of the game. How do you find the fundamentals that are required for 3x3 versus the 5-on-5 version?
Well, the 3x3 is a lot faster. It's a lot more exciting. You're also restricted by the sort of court that you've got because you're only playing in the 3-point zone. Let's just see what actually happens here. These guys are forcing their shots. The points are different. So the 3, which is normally a 3, is now 2. But let's just see how the skills play out with all of them. Oh, good one by Rachetse. Quite a strong player, Rachetse. He can drive into the key, hold his own in there.
All right, so Moleti converted, so he gets the 1 point, and he will go to the free throw line and see if he can extend his South African tally.
Pick up his own rebound.
All right, so foul called there.
And Alan.
Of course, player number 6 for South Africa, Alan Matatase. He plays his club basketball between South Africa and in France. So Alan is shooting off to France after this tournament to join up with his teams in the French league, and he converts. So Max, we've chatted in the earlier game about how the game, the length of the game. Obviously 10 minutes is the maximum duration, and 21 points if the first team to 21 points. In this version of the game, it's obviously quite important that teams convert the opportunities and try and kill off the game as quickly as possible. Would you agree with that?
No, it's important. I mean, These guys have got to get their spacing right, they've got to pass, they've got to move, and they've got to move into the gaps that they've created so they can receive passes to hit the baskets. The only good thing about this is that if they use the backboard correctly, their scoring is going to be a lot higher, especially the percentages. So let's actually see who falls into place here and does what they're supposed to.
And of course, I mean, aside from the obvious offensive sort of musts that the guys must convert in that, important for teams to have solid defense.
Most important. I mean, with South Africa, they've practiced the man-to-man, so it's a case of pushing the opponent wide. Don't let him get into the paint. Let him force his shot, and let's create turnovers. That's what we're trying to force here. Samanga Mbele, very, very safe player.
Right, so South Africa will look to Mbele to convert as many opportunities as possible. Very good player in the domestic leagues here in South Africa. Plays for the Kolosco Lions in the Supersport Wheelchair Basketball Series. Kenya put up the shot. That shot by Kenya was done there by Odeo Otieno. Cecil Dumont finds Rekhetsi Moletti. Loses possession for a minute there, and then good work there by number 5 for Kenya, Itaken Kiplin, and Kenya get their first points. Vocal support from the Kenyan ladies side, and of course the South African ladies rooting for their men's team. Ball knocked out of bounds, should be South Africa's possession, and substitution called. Alan Matatase will come on for Rekhetsi Moletti.
Game's a little bit scrappy at this stage, you know, nobody's really found their footing. So let's just see what actually happens here. Oh, good basket.
Nice work there by Samanga Mbele.
He's actually famous for those shots.
Good high D there by the South Africans, so putting Kenya under pressure, but shot did go up eventually there by Otieno, and managed to find the space, get into the key, and they convert. Timeout called. So a lot quicker, quicker than the first game, Max. Obviously, Kenya are a lot more experienced opposition. Probably the stronger opposition that the South Africa, between South Africa and Kenya. I suspect that could be the top two sides at the end of the pool stages. Too early to say, but I think on paper the two stronger teams here at this particular event.
Yeah, they both put up a good performance there, and I think maybe it's just first match butterflies or whatever the case is there. But I mean, when we played Kenya on the 5-on-5, they seem to be a lot stronger with the 3-on-3 teams than what they were with the 5-on-5. So yeah, this is going to be interesting tournament. This.
All right, back to the action. Check ball in, and South Africa will try and make something happen here. Alan Matatase for South Africa. Shot clock down to 5. You'll have to make something happen soon. Good defensive work by Kenya there. They turn the ball over. Good defense there by Kenya, Max.
Yes, I would actually say so. I mean, South Africa's punching a little bit. They should actually look for the gaps, create the gaps, move into them, and look for the passes. But Kenya's putting up a very, very strong defense here.
Initially good work there by Dumont, but he's unable to convert. And again, in this version of the game, you really need to make your opportunities count.
Oh, for sure. If you don't, you're just going to get punished at the end of the day.
Lucky on that occasion, no harm done, and Dumont takes a breather, and then back into the game comes Rekhetsi Moletti for South Africa.
Looks like both teams are fairly well balanced.
Kenyan number 5. There is Itaken Kaplian, a very strong guy. Chatting to the management. He's a Maasai warrior from Kenya, and wheelchair basketball has basically saved his life since an accident he's had. Looks like a useful player for Kenya. Converted there by Samanga Mbele. So South Africa leading the Kenyans by 6 points to 2 at this stage. And we have just over... All right, Alan Matatatsi trying to make something happen for South Africa. Finds Moletti, looking for Mbele. Mbele blown for the 3-second violation.
South Africa is actually looking for the picks. They should actually be looking for the gaps.
Alright, so Kenya making a fist of this encounter. Can Dumont convert for South Africa? He doesn't. But good work there by Moletti. Unfortunately for the South Africans, out of bounds. So Kenya will have an opportunity to reduce the gap to 1 point. So South Africa will look to shut them out.
I think they need to tighten their defense, play them man-to-man and push them out of the paint. Spoil their game.
Max, even in the able-body running basketball version of the 3x3, the beauty of this game, it allows the smaller, more unrecognized nations an opportunity to make a name for themselves. And we see countries like Mongolia, at the top levels of able-body. Who knows what comes out of Africa in the near future?
I think African 3x3 is going to be very exciting in years to come. I mean, you can only develop this sport as much as we can, and obviously with the help of WBSA, these African countries are going to benefit from this.
Foul called against the Kenyans, so South Africa will have another chance. Shot clock will reset. Matatatsi replaces Mbele. Moletti for Serbia. Shot goes up. Great shot there by Alan Matatatsi. I think he was trying for the 2, but South Africa right now will take as many of those opportunities. Quick reply by Kenya. Otieno. So that was a Kiplian. So score 7-5 to South Africa. Reach and foul there by Itaken Kiplian.
Really hacking the guys out there on those fouls.
Rakhetsi Moletti for South Africa looking for a space, but showing too much of the ball there to Adir Otieno from Kenya. So good work here by Kenya. They're really making South Africa work for this game, and plenty of time for them to come away with the spoils.
Yes, Jerry, I think Kenya's work rate is quite high right now. They're on a par with South Africa. They seem to be blocking all their moves and their passes. So, yeah, I think this is going to be their nemesis, South Africa.
Good work there by South Africa. Dumont, unfortunately, hasn't found his shooting range just yet. So redeems themselves by getting the possession back. Alan Matatatsi now for South Africa. A little bit loose right now from South Africa. I think they just need to slow it down, and timeout called.
Well, I think South Africa should just settle down, play their game, and play to the best of their ability, and just shut down Kenya. Don't let them get in the way.
Kiplian unhappy with some of the officiating decisions.
par for the course.
Which player is ever happy with a referee's decision? Unless it goes for them, I suppose. All right, back to the action. South Africa will look to try and pull away from Kenya. Kenya, of course, wanting to make this particular possession count. And I think if they convert here, we're in for a very interesting final stage of this game. Good work by Mbele. Just wastes a few seconds on the clock there, making it difficult for Kenya. Kenya will have 4 seconds on the shot clock, so they'll need to make something happen quite quickly. South Africa will need to be focused on their defense, not to waste this particular opportunity.
They need to come out and press them, don't give them those long shots.
Didn't drop there for Kenya. Raketsi Moleti now drives past into the gap, finds Mbele. Mbele shouldn't miss, and he doesn't. South Africa now extend their lead to 3 points with just under 3 minutes to play. On the ball there for Kenya is the Robert Nguji.
Spoil their game.
Otieno looks like a decent little player. Well, I wouldn't say little, he's their tallest player on the Kenyan side, but he's putting in good performance right now. Better from the South Africans, Max.
You know, I think Kenya is actually holding their own here, and if with a little bit of more practice, they would actually give South Africa a lot harder run here. South Africa is not really playing their game. This is not what they practiced in their camps, but let's just hope in the next game everything just falls into place for them.
Good work there between Molete and Mbele. Mbele unable to convert on that occasion. Clock running down to just over 2 minutes to play. South Africa hold a steady advantage here with 4 points, so it's going to be difficult for Kenya, but nothing's impossible, especially if South Africa do not convert those opportunities.
It's actually strange that South Africa is not really converting them. I mean, normally they hit them from just about anywhere, but if they just use that backboard correctly, it'd be a lot different.
Good work there by Molete. South Africa now 5 points ahead with just over a minute and a half to play.
You need to pick up the men.
Shot clock violation there, so South Africa now will have opportunity possibly to try and use up as much time now, because they do have a healthy lead in this version of the game, so no need to panic. Kenya working hard though. Good work there, and off balance on that occasion. Samanga Mbele. Kenya now with Kiplian. Good work though on defense by South Africa, much better.
No, the defense is a lot better. They're pushing them wide, forcing the shots. They keep them out of the paint. That's exactly what will push them into the win of this game.
A rush shot there on that occasion by Odio Otieno, because the shot clock was running down and unable to get it to drop. So South Africa now looking to finish it off. Alan Matatasi goes tumbling to the ground. Foul called against Robert Nguji for Kenya.
Yeah, I'm sure if that foul didn't happen, Alan would have converted that basket.
Matatasi now. Good work there by Alan Matatasi. Can he make the second one count?
He's pretty reliable, Alan. He's actually quite a safe shooter.
Good work there by Alan Matatase. So South Africa now holding a 7-point lead. I think they had a bit of a period in that game there where Kenya put them under a bit of pressure, but they seem to have recovered and are looking strong now to see this one out.
Well, I think it's the defense that's actually bringing them up, where they're forcing Kenya to do their shots.
Good shot there by Otieno again. I'd say Kenya's best player, by the looks of it, is Otieno, the number 4. And Alan Matatase having an excellent game right now. Converts once again. 13 to South Africa, 6 to Kenya. And we've got just over 30 seconds left in the second encounter here at the 2021 Commonwealth Games 3x3 wheelchair basketball qualifiers.
Yeah, a bit of a slow start for South Africa in the beginning, but it looks like they're starting to find their rhythm now.
Good shot goes up there by Kiplian. Coming up next, we've got Rwanda's second game of the tournament. They will take on Gambia. As I said earlier, Gambia only arrived late last night. So let's see what we've got there. Great work by South Africa now. Closing off this game. 10 seconds left. South Africa will claim their first win, and I'm sure that'll keep their get rid of any early tournament nerves, Max.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there, Jerry. I mean, it's like I said earlier on, they're only just starting to find their groove now. There's a very slow start in the beginning, but they're finding their rhythm.
Right, and that's the end of the game. South Africa seared out 14-6. So good start for the host nation, South Africa, and a good effort there by Kenya. Really put the South Africans under a bit of pressure there. So they'll be looking to post some solid wins for the rest of the tournament and see if they can qualify for the final. Just to explain how the competition will work. In the men's section, 5 countries are taking part. It's a round robin in the first stage of the competition, and at the end of the round robin, the top 2 countries will play in a final later on today. We'll be back shortly with the encounter between Rwanda and Gambia. right, welcome back to the Vodacom Mandeville Indoor Sports Centre here in Johannesburg, South Africa. Next matchup, we have the team from Rwanda taking on the team from Gambia. So introducing the team from Rwanda, player number 4, Emmanuel. Player number 5, Diodon. Player number 6, Hashimo. Player number 7, Mashak. All right, so introducing the team for Gambia. Number 9, Malang Tamba. Number 3, Salafu Kujabi. Number 11, Ibrima Sise. And number 8, Ibrima Mbai. Manager for Gambia is Suleiman Kali, and manager for Rwanda, Jean-Paul Herwa. All right, Game 3, 2021 Commonwealth Games, 3x3 wheelchair basketball qualifiers coming to you from Johannesburg, South Africa. Up on court now we have Rwanda taking on Gambia. Gambia, another one of the new nations to just have been welcomed by the IWBF World Committee and of course the IWBF Africa Committee, and exciting to see 2 new countries. And of course, first time playing international events for both of these nations. So let's see what the 3x3 version of the game offers for both of these 2 emerging nations. Rwanda's number 6 there. It's Muhirwa Hashimu. Violation there. Gambia not clearing the arc. As I mentioned earlier, Gambia arrived late in South Africa last night and missed out on a lot of the workshops that were held leading up into this tournament. So it might take them a while to adjust to some of the rules. So they'll need to catch on quickly if they want to compete and get some points on the board. And good work though on defense there by the number 5. Joining me in the commentary box, delighted to welcome to South Africa IWBF 3x3 head, Mr. Luc Vergozen from the Netherlands. Welcome, Luc.
Thank you.
How are you finding your stay so far in South Africa?
Very well. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here, even in this strange pandemic period. and it's very nice to see that we can restart wheelchair basketball, and especially with this tournament. And the setup looks really, really great. It's competing with the FIBA setup, so it's very nice to see how it's done.
And Luke, I mentioned to the viewers earlier, this is definitely the first official Commonwealth Games 3x3 wheelchair basketball qualifiers. But in terms of the 3x3 version of the game, from a global perspective,
this is the first tournament. We were supposed to have last year in February in Thailand a World Cup, World Championships, but because of the pandemic, those championships were cancelled. So this is the first official IWBF 3x3 wheelchair basketball tournament, and I think South Africa is setting an example now, and for the other countries to try to compete with it.
Well, that's great to hear, Luke. Let's talk a little bit about some of the differences between the 5-on-5 and the 3x3 game. Just in a nutshell, what would you say the most important aspects are?
Well, the most important aspect is that the game continues after a score. So normally in the 5-on-5 game, when there's a score, the player goes out of bounds behind the baseline and then inbounds the ball. And then you have 24 seconds to go to the other side. Well, basically you have 8 seconds, but your offense can last 24 seconds. Here, it's the game continues. It's only 12-second shot clock, which makes it very fast. I just spoke to the South African coach, and he says he really liked the way it's played now, and he says the players have to react, and they have to be reacting from their guts, and they have no time to think, which is very good, because not all players have that capability.
Probably not a bad thing there.
No. Just to be fair, this is a quick game, but 3x3 is basically playing with 3 men in triangles. It's what's done in the 5-on-5 game as well. And now, on a court like this, only 6 players. The court is a little bit smaller than a half court of a regular size, because a regular size court is 28 by 15, so a half court is 14 by 15, and we took off 3 more meters. So from the baseline to the new end line, it's 11 meters, but it's enough. There's enough space for the 6 players to play and to compete, and it looks really really fast. It's a fast game.
So I mean, obviously, the 3x3 version of the game is a great opportunity for some of the smaller nations, if I can say that, to develop their game and allow them the opportunity to compete internationally. Teams like Gambia and Rwanda, they've never participated in the 5-on-5 version, for various reasons, but it is so great to see them playing here in this event.
Yeah, it is. It's a great opportunity for development. And also, if you have special needs schools and you want to play basketball, normally you need a lot more kids to play. And now, if you normally have 12 kids, in this version you have 3 teams with 12 players. So it's much easier. And another special thing in this game is the ball. There's a special 3x3 ball. It's the same ball for all genders and all ages. So basically from age 12 up, you play with the special ball, and it's a size 6 ball. That's very technical. Size 6 is the ball that's normally used for women in the 5-on-5 game, and the size 7 is used for men. And this 3x3 ball is a size 6, so the women's size, but it has the weight of the size 7, so of the men's ball. And that's done because all players can have better grip on the ball, and when you play outside, because 3x3 here we play in this beautiful Mandeville Stadium, but normally it's played outside, and then when there is a wind, a ball that's a bit heavier has a better flow on the wind. So that's why they designed this specially. We play here with the Wilson ball. Wilson is the official ball that will be used on the Commonwealth Games. The Wilson 3x3 ball, and that's where we play now with. But there are other brands with an official 3x3 ball, but this is the ball which will be used next year in Birmingham as well.
And Luke, obviously the 3x3 version of the game is a great opportunity to take the sport to venues that maybe you wouldn't normally see basketball taking place. We've seen events in unique venues.
Yeah, definitely, especially in Europe, but all over the world. But a month ago in Paris, the FIBA version of 3x3, the European Cup, was played in front of the Eiffel Tower.
I saw the photos.
I was 2 weeks later at the finals of the Under-23 Nations League, FIBA, the everybody version in Romania, Bucharest, in the Palace. It's this because of the court, and there is a special portable 3x3 court, which you can lay almost on every iconic place. You can put it on the foot of the table bird or whatever iconic place you can go. It's possible to play 3x3.
One of the other things the viewers out there might not be aware of, if you look at the side of the court, we don't see any coaches. Why is that?
Yeah, that's a lot of players like that. The game is player driven, which means that the player has to take his or her responsibility for the game. So it's a player driven game. The players have to take their own decisions. The players also have to accept coaching from their substitution player who is on the side. So you have 4 players, 1 player is on the side, and that player is allowed to coach. But other coaching, as soon as the players are called on the court, the coach has to go, has to sit on the side, has to shut up, which is very difficult for coaches. I'm a coach myself, and I know how difficult that is. I spoke to the coach of the South African men's team, and yeah, it's difficult, but it makes it nice as well. And the coaches have time to coach in between the games on a championship like this. And but yeah, it has a beauty of it.
Just talking about this particular game, Gambia looking quite strong against the Rwandans. They lead by 6 points to 1.
Yeah.
And the clock is just running down to the 5-minute mark. Luke, the scoring system.
Yeah, it's different. In the 5-on-5 game, you have a 3-point shot, which is outside the arc. And if you look at the arc here, the arc is the same distance, but only the points that you score from behind the arc are 2 points, and all other scores, like a layup or everything else within the arc, free throws, layups, are all counting for 1 point. And the game ends when the first team gets 21 points, and that can be, and for now that will be, I don't think it will be reached today because it's new for a lot of players, but in the future also wheelchair games will go up to 21 points. So it's the first team that reaches 21 points during the regular playing time, or the team that has the most points after 10 minutes. And if after 10 minutes it's a draw, so it's an equal amount of points, then there is an overtime, and the overtime goes until the first team makes 2 points. So there is no time restriction on it. Like in the 5-on-5 game, you have overtimes lasting 5 minutes, and when it's after 5 minutes, again equal score. Then they go another 5 minutes. Here it is like it can be over in 1 second if the person after the check ball gets the ball and shoots a 2-point shot. It's over, but it can take like 6-7 minutes. It's up to how good the teams are. And another thing is there is no out of bounds situation on the side of the court or on the baseline. So all the restarts of the game, so the start of the game and all the restarts of the game are done with the check ball, which you see now here. The red player is the offensive player, he's on the logo. The defensive player is around the 2-point arc. The referee hands the ball to the defensive player. The defensive player passes the ball to the offensive player, and then the game starts. And that's also the moment that the 12-second shot clock starts.
So by the Gambian side, despite having flown halfway, it almost feels like they flew halfway across the world to get here, and arrived late last night. It does not look like that's affected them, and they lead Rwanda by 7 points to 1.
Yeah, they have some very strong players. If you look at the build of player number 9, he's a very strong physique. That helps in the game of 3x3. And yeah, they play very well, despite the 18 hours travel that they did from Gambia to South Africa.
Yeah, player number 9 for Gambia on the ball. It's Malang Tamba, and he converts. So another point on the board there for Gambia. Just to talk a little bit more about next year's Commonwealth Games. How do the teams qualify to participate at the Birmingham Commonwealth Games next year, Luke?
Yeah, there are 6 teams competing, which is the host, which is England, Birmingham, and then the 3 zones of. Do I say that's correct? The four zones of the IWBF. So you have the Asia, Oceania, you have Africa, of course, you have Europe, and you have the Americas. They all have 1 spot to get to qualify to the Commonwealth Games, and then there is 1 wild card. And
how will that work?
The wild cards will be given to. That's what we didn't decide yet who we will give the wild card, because it's depending on. Let's say if South Africa is qualifying with the men and Kenya is qualifying with the women, and the quality of the team from the women of South Africa is very good, it can be possible that it goes to South Africa. It will not go to Europe for sure, because Europe already has 2 spots because of the host and 1 qualifying spot. So it will definitely not go to Europe. So it goes to either Asia, Oceania, Africa, or the Americas. And it can be that the female wildcard goes to Africa and the male goes to Asia, or the other way around. But it has to do also with development, because although qualifying for Commonwealth Games, it is a sort of grassroots. Well, because there are players here that seen a 3x3 ball before, and it's new. So for development purposes, IWBF World, it's important that we spread the team, that we have as much as big as diversity as possible.
So teams to put, so they never know.
You never know where you end up. Performing here very well. Yeah, to them because they deserve it. We are working that out, and yeah, we have the right as the IWBF to play the wild card. Do that. That will be and really.
Of course, talk next after this encounter. We'll play off in a best of 3. Still in the lead here, 8 points to 1. Shot goes up.
Yeah, definitely. We welcome of going all over the continent with 3x3 tournaments and then have a final, most likely here in South Africa. We have some budget for it. There will be World Championships. The plan was to have the first 2 World Championships like in an open version, that you can just enter the competition, and then after the 2 years we hope that we can establish in each zone a zonal competition, and then the winner and maybe the runner-up, it's depending on how many teams we can host in the tournament, can go to the World Championships. And then it will be like in the 5-on-5 game, you have a zonal competition, zonal championship that qualifies you for a World Championship. Paralympic 3x3 wheelchair basketball will take some time. It will definitely not happen in Paris. Hopefully we can convince IPC to have it in Los Angeles, but you never know. But that's a dream, and that's far away. For now, we want to have as many countries as possible involved in 3x3. As you said before, it's an easy tool to develop your sport with not so many players.
So Gambia have got just over a minute to see out this game. So it looks like they will register their first win of the tournament. Luke, thank you very much for giving me some insight into that, and of course the viewers out there. And we'll be calling on you a bit later to come and talk some more.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Gary.
So just with just under a minute to go, Rwanda struggling in this particular encounter. Gambia looking pretty solid. And as we mentioned, development is the key component here for certainly this particular version of the game here in Africa, and countries like Gambia, Rwanda, it's great to have them participating. 40 seconds to go, and coming up after this will be the first women's game. South Africa taking on Kenya, and should be quite a close affair. I'd also like to say a big thank you to our broadcast sponsor for this event, Sasol. Sasol are proud sponsors of wheelchair basketball in South Africa, and have supported the growth of the game in South Africa, and the whole wheelchair basketball community is extremely grateful for their partnership. 19 seconds left. Can Gambia get some more points on the board? Unable to do so. And coming up shortly, we'll have a quick chat to IWBF Africa President, Mr. Charles Saunders, just to talk about some of the development initiatives going on, not just with the 3x3 version of the game. I nearly fell off my seat with that buzzer there. So that's the end of the game, and Gambia get their first ever victory in an international tournament, and turn over the Rwandan team by 9 points to 1, if my eyes don't deceive me. We'll be back shortly to have a quick chat to Mr. Charles Saunders at the start of the South Africa versus Kenya women's game. right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Vodacom Mandeville Indoor Sports Centre in Johannesburg, South Africa. 2021 Commonwealth Games, 3x3 wheelchair basketball qualifiers, and the first of our women's matches sees the team from South Africa taking on the team from Kenya. Let's welcome to the floor from Kenya, player number 8, Rahel Alar. Number 10, Caroline Wanjira. Number 5, Eunice Otieno. Number 6, Mary Zakayo. And for the home team, put your hands together, let's welcome number 4, Aviwe Ngoni. Number 6, Sam Kalisiwe Ibatha. Captain, number 9, Michelle Mokhanedi. And number 10, Kelebogile Moeng. All right, welcome back to the Mandeville Indoor Sports Centre here in Johannesburg. Joining me in the commentary for this game between South Africa women and Kenya women, I'm delighted to welcome IWBF Africa President, Mr. Charles Saunders. Welcome, Charles.
Thank you very much, Jerry. What an absolute pleasure. Look at this. We have got 3x3 basketball up and running in Africa. What a pleasure.
A lot of hard work's gone into the preparation of this particular event, Charles. Obviously, quite a new discipline. We've had a couple of trial runs over the past few years, trying to fine-tune the way the game's going to be played. I'm sure you must be quite delighted to eventually be up and running in this particular event.
Well, absolutely. I mean, this is a 6-year project that we've been working on, and congratulations to IWBF World in getting it up and going. I think it's a wonderful initiative that we have got the Commonwealth Games that will be coming up in Birmingham next year. And what's great about this is that we are the first of the series as the African continent to launch the national series. So I'm very, very pleased about it, very proud, and thank you very much for everybody that's put contribution to make this thing happen.
That's right, some early nerves here from both teams, a couple of turnovers. The Kenyan ladies look quite useful there, Charles. Some big tall players versus a relatively small South African contingent, but South African players got some quick players, so it'd be interesting to see which of the two disciplines actually comes out on top.
Yeah, look, I think right now it's early days with a lot of it. This is really the first time that they're in competition against each other in the 3x3 format. Within the 5-man game, of course, they've challenged each other on a number of occasions. And Kenya has been one of the forerunners on the east coast of Africa in leading wheelchair basketball. So I'm really, really chuffed that we're able to get the ladies out here. And you know what? What a fitting, beautiful end to actually something that's taken 6 years to put together. I really am so chuffed at what's happening.
I think it need a special mention to the IWBF Africa panel, the Executive Council, for the great work that's been put in over the last 18 months to actually get some new countries involved. I mean, countries like Gambia, Rwanda, Namibia,
yeah, absolutely,
new to the fray, and hats off to IWBF Africa for for all the work that's going on to get these countries playing.
Yeah, absolutely, Jerry. You know, we started as a new executive in late, or shall I say early 2020. We've only been really 18 months in the running, and the whole idea behind the program that we put together was development. And what we wanted to do at the end of the day was to make sure that we get all of our sister companies and our brother countries in Africa involved in wheelchair basketball. It's been a long haul, and I have to say congratulations to my committee for what they've actually done and the work that they've done in the background to ensure that we've got new membership coming through it. We're up to 16 countries now. We aim to finish off at the end of the year with 25. It's a slow process, and of course we're going there. We're going to be there, and by next year I'm looking at around about 30 countries in Africa that will be running wheelchair basketball. So we're on our way. It's not an easy program, as I said. It's communication is difficult in Africa, but the ways that we've gone about it is we've broken up into 5 regions, and hopefully those 5 regions and the management that are put into those 5 regions will actually continue to work to achieve what we're trying to achieve. I mean, look at it for today. Gambia is the newest country that is and with their acceptance to wheelchair basketball was Friday last week.
That's incredible, and I must say I was pleasantly surprised. They seem to have some good basic fundamentals there. So, you know, hopefully it won't be long before you know, the African continent will start competing, you know, with more teams at world competition. Still a lot of work to do. We acknowledge that, but it's exciting to see the potential.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, basics and fundamentals still need to be taught, and the launch of the coaching program, which we're looking forward to getting off the ground before the under-23 tournament takes place in December, is going to go a long way to ensuring that the basic disciplines, the fundamentals of playing the game, how to dribble, how to push a chair, how to stop, how to trap a player, etc., are going to come into play. So I must say that a lot of good work has been done by the appointed Project Development Officer of IWBF, Mr. Gerard Smith, and what I can turn around and say is that we will be launching within the next month all the online webinars for coaching programs, technical and classification programs. So it's one of the initiatives that we've put forward, and had it not been for COVID, I think we would have had this up and running a year ago.
And Charles, yeah, obviously the build-up to this tournament, we've had the opportunity to, you know, meet with all the countries and talk about potential development plans. And I mean, there's a lot of excitement around where things are going. So yeah, it's good things ahead. And you know, obviously with the 3x3 version of the game, our plans, the African plans are to have a tour around Africa. Obviously we still got a bit of work to do on finalising all of that, but yeah, again, opportunity to develop the game and take it to the kids. You know, we need to look at the youth development program. So this version of the game is an ideal opportunity for that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You're absolutely correct in saying that. And of course, the initiative is what you're talking about, is to ensure that we've got regional games that are taking place. So in the 5 regions, we'll have playoffs and champions that will come through, with the final leg of the 3x3 ending up hopefully host either the north or the south, the east or west, to be the championship of Africa, so that the winning teams go through to the World Championship. So that's the idea behind it. And yes, looking at 10 countries per region, it will make a very good competition in the build-up to the African 3x3 qualifiers.
Currently timeout on court, and South Africa hold a narrow lead, but look quite comfortable at this stage. But I'm sure Kenya will keep on fighting through. We've still got plenty of time for them to do that. Charles, also moving off the 3x3 version, we have another junior competition here in being hosted by South Africa later this year. How are we looking in terms of the countries that have attending? Because historically we've only had sort of 2 or 3 countries that have been able to attend. What can you update us on that situation?
Well, once again, it's new. We call them NOWBs, which is your National Organizing Wheelchair Basketball Federations, and we are proud to say that the likes of Libya will be present at this competition. So we're looking at 6 countries that will participate in the U23, which will take place in December. I'm very pleased to say that the growth of the under-23s, which is really and truly the development program for wheelchair basketball, is growing. And just the fact that over the last 10, 12 years, we've only been able to bring in about 3 countries at a time. What a pleasure to have 6 countries competing at this level. And we've got a lot of work still to do in the north. That's where the powerhouse is. And it's a pity that we're not seeing the likes of Morocco and Algeria and Egypt that's going to participate at this level of competition. But what I can say is their loss and everybody else's gain. And it's going to be a tough tournament. It really is going to be a tough tournament. And once again, hosted in South Africa. I just want to say to the Department of Sport and the Health Ministry for supporting us and to be able to run these competitions under the COVID regulations. Hasn't been easy. It's been a very costly exercise. And of course, a big shout out to Sassel, who have always been behind the Amawila boys and the Amawila girls and have supported all the projects that we've put through in not only here in South Africa but in Africa. But not forgetting that there are a lot of fringe sponsors out there that have supported wheelchair basketball over the years, and the shout out must be given to them as well. And of course, one of the big brands of basketball, Supersport, who have really and truly been with us now for 24 years. So it's really been a wonderful, wonderful achievement, a wonderful partnership, and it's been helping us to achieve what we've been able to achieve. So congratulations to everybody and thank you.
Yes, obviously during the COVID period there was a lot of concern, but those sponsors you mentioned definitely have kept us alive, and we're very grateful for that. Kenya get their first points on the board. South Africa will need to be careful.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of urgency now in the South African team. You can see that pushing, but at the same time as pushing, making little mistakes. What we can say is at the end of the day is that there's a 3-way playoff, the best of 3 playoff between these 2 countries, and the team that wins represents South Africa at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham.
Correction there, that represents Africa, Mr. Saunders.
Represents Africa.
Yeah, so just over 5 minutes to go.
It's great to see that Kenya has come out so strong, and especially with some big girls. And they will definitely give the Algeria a run for their money, who are the current champions of Africa in the 5-on-5 game. We'll see what happens, and there's got another 2 games to prove who's going to be representing Africa.
Charles, we chatted to Luke Vergosen earlier, and just with regards to obviously the technical side of the game here, this game is also new to the officials. How's the development of the technical side of things going in Africa?
Well, we've been fairly lucky in that many of our officials have been involved in the FIBA 3x3 games. So the mechanics and the calling from the able-bodied side has been passed on into the wheelchair side. The likes of Luke Vergosen, that's come out to South Africa now, who is the chairman of the competitions committee for 3x3 World, and also an instructor in 3x3 technical, has worked with these officials for the last 2 days, just basically changing them onto the principles of wheelchair calling, which of course is a big difference from the able body, in that they've got to concentrate on what we call crossing the path. The wheelchair is the player's legs, and of course creates most of the contact situation. So in this format of game, the crossover has been very, very easy. And as you can see, officials are handling the game. They're also there as a development capacity, so they're teaching the players at the same time. And what I can say at the end of the day is that it's truly representative. Not only that, but have a look here. 2 women referees in Africa refereeing the women's competition. Excellent.
And 2 very strong referees that can handle themselves more than matching up to. I mean, they referee in the big men's competitions, not only for IWBF but for FIBA themselves.
Correct. Yeah, so it's very nice that we've been able to get the officials that have done the crossover. It's a project that we've been working on for also the last 18 months that have been launched again, as I said, at the end of this month with all the officials. Although we've run a program over the last 8 months with the officials, identifying referees in Africa who wish to do the crossover to from able-bodied to wheelchair. Great response, and it's going to be interesting to see what we have down at the 23s when we're going to invite a couple of these referees to write their licenses, their zonal licenses, and see whether they can achieve and do the crossover from running basketball to wheelchair basketball.
Good defense there by the South African girls. So turnover there, they'll pick up possession. Just under 5 minutes to play, South Africa lead 4-1. Michelle Mokinedi now in possession of the ball, finds Kela Bokile Moeng, and she converts. So it's starting to look like so the South African ladies are finding their strides now, making it difficult for Kenya. Good work by Moeng in defence, and Charles, this the number 9 for South Africa, Mokinedi, new player that's just come through the development ranks in South Africa, and looks like a good little player there.
Yeah, look, I'm actually very impressed with the youth that's coming through at the moment. We've seen a very, very big difference. Our veteran ladies have carried us for the last couple of years, and it's great to see the number of youth players that are coming through the ranks. This is one of them, and she hasn't been around basketball for a long time, basically been a year, and she's already showing the fruits of what a national player should be like. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more of her.
And she's made an immediate impact just internally within the squad. You've got 2 veteran players on court in Ngoni and Moeng, and a unanimous decision made by the team, and they made her the captain of the team. So it shows she's got leadership qualities. And
wonderful.
Very exciting young player here. One to watch for the future, definitely.
Talking well on the court as well and directing her troops. I think that's absolutely beautiful. All right, but don't write off Kenya. Kenya, this is their first international game with the 3x3, and you know what? There's potential there.
Absolutely, Charles. I mean, we were talking to Luke earlier, and as we see in the able-bodied version of the 3x3, countries like Mongolia, some that you wouldn't normally, rank with 5-on-5 basketball. They're dominant in this version of the game. So, the exciting opportunity for any of the African countries is to stake a claim to this version of the game, as we've seen in the likes of rugby, the rugby sevens.
Cricket 2020.
Kenya are one of the top world's nations. So yeah, it's going to be exciting to see where this game goes.
Absolutely. When we took this initiative to IWBF World some 6 years ago, and we put it on the grounds, the rules were a lot different. So I'm very pleased to see that we've adopted the FIBA 3x3 format, and FIBA, of course, being the brother federation to IWBF World or wheelchair basketball, both working out of the same offices, both with the same vision and the same direction. It's wonderful to see that we've been able to take the game and transform the game to this level within the number of years that we've been working on it. So great once again to everybody that's been involved, to those that have made it work, to Luke, who really and truly has worked tirelessly on the international body to make sure that this format of game is operative. And what is interesting about it, to see all the small countries that haven't been 5-on-5 characteristically playing within world competition, they're suddenly making effort on the big stage, and it's wonderful to see this. So I'm very chuffed about this.
And of course, the hope is that these smaller nations, and I say smaller nations in the wheelchair basketball sense, will develop the 3x3 into taking part in 5-on-5. So it's a great opportunity.
Well, this is the development side of it. So that once you, although if we look at what FIBA has actually done now, this has become a sport on its own, and there's professionals that play this sport only in comparison to the 5-on-5 game. What is interesting about it is that with wheelchair basketball, we'd like to take this as the development sector for the 5-on-5 game. These are all the fundamental skills that one has to learn through the 3-on-3 format. And what's interesting about it is that once they've mastered this and they grow this within their countries, the 5-on-5 structure will be a lot more easier to put together.
Okay, Kenya trying to get some late points here. South Africa lead 10-1, and Goni there unable to convert for South Africa. Caroline Wanjiri will have to kill York under pressure from Mohanedi. She tries to find Rahel Alar, unable to, and Moeng will try and pick up the loose ball, and she clears the arc. Good work between Moeng and Mohanedi, and excellent play there by the South African team. Clock running down, 2 minutes 24. Wanjiri trying to get a shot up there, doesn't drop for her.
So once again, Jerry Dawson, I just want to a shout out to my executive, who really and truly have done a huge amount of work in the background, specifically with the new classification case changes that have come about. There's been a lot of work in the background, and a shout out must go to the classification department, to the project development, and of course through to my office that have really and truly worked tirelessly to all hours over the last couple of days to get this up and running.
I can certainly vouch for the hours that have been going on. You know, we all know tournaments are a lot of hard work, but yes, to all the staff, they've really been working 18 to 19-hour days. So great effort, and it's important that they get acknowledged, definitely.
Yeah, and of course a big shout out as well through to Wheelchair Basketball South Africa for hosting these events during this time period. I really truly want to also thank that staff as well, and although I sit with the dual cap as in Wheelchair Basketball South Africa as well as IWBF Africa, you know what, it's been a collaboration of everybody, including the teams themselves, and of course their executives who've been able to make this come about. So thank you very much to everybody out there, and I really acknowledge and really appreciate all the help that you guys have done. Thank you.
All right. Kenya now trying to get some more points on the board. Rahal Alar unable to get the shot up. Good work by the smallest player on the court, Taviwe Ngoni, and turns the ball over. Mohanedi will have the check-in.
Yeah, I think the 12-second clock is really and truly affecting the teams at the moment. Not used to playing a 12-second, 24-second, 12-second clock in comparison, where they had 24 seconds to actually play the ball. Half of that now, 12 seconds, and the game has to be sped up a lot more quicker for them to be able to achieve what they need to achieve.
Next up on court, we've got the matchup between the South African men and their neighbours from Namibia. South Africa, of course, will want to keep the momentum going after a slow but yet comfortable win against the Kenyan men in their first encounter. So just over a minute to play.
So those out there that are not aware of the actual rules of the 3-on-3 wheelchair basketball structure, okay, I'm sure that Luke explained a lot what was going on. What is most important now is that the players, this is a player-driven game, and what's interesting about that is that the coaches can only talk to the teams after the fact and not during the game. And that makes a big difference, because if there's results in the actual ladies on that court that need to really and truly direct themselves. So we see a bit of excitement here from a couple of the spectators out there, giving instructions and telling everybody what to do. And of course, if the coach gets involved in this, of course there's a technical foul that is suspended on the game.
I think it's important to explain, and as you can see, Luke Vergersen is explaining explaining some technicalities to the Kenyan ladies. The Kenyan coach in the stands is quite animated. It must be extremely frustrating for a coach in this format of the game.
Yeah. How can you contain yourself? This is important to everybody. It's a lot of money that's been spent to come here to qualify, and of course it's so difficult not to shout out instructions to your players. But then again, new format of game, and what's very important about it is that everybody's got to learn the new structures.
Technical foul called on the Kenyan.
Yeah, that was deliberate wasting of game, and what they basically did was there was a very poor pass through to their opponents. Mr. Ferguson has now seen that the Kenyans are standing up and coaching, and going to be talking to them now.
Yeah, so on screen at the moment you can see Luc Ferguson reprimanding the coaching staff there. As you alluded to, Charles, they are not allowed to coach, especially with, they're allowed to obviously shout at their players, but the players are just not allowed to acknowledge them, and unfortunately the Kenyan team did not do that, so the coaches have been warned, and again, once they've been warned, the next time they get ejected from the stadium. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's the problem. And you know what? This is Africa. We are an animated nation, and no matter what people say, what people do, it's not going to be able to stop the enthusiasm. For them, this is the way of life. And unfortunately, we've got Mr. Ferguson that's come back again to actually talk to them. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult for everybody to contain themselves and emotions at this time period.
All right, well, we're winding down to the end of this game. South Africa with a very comfortable lead of 12 points to 1. And looks like Kenya will definitely have some work to do to try and knock them over in the next game. Because of course, if am I right in saying if they don't and South Africa win, that means that they will finish up winning the tournament.
Yeah, it's best of three. Irrespective, they'll still play the 3 games, but yes, most definitely best of 3. They've got to win the next game to remain in the tournament. The last game will make a determination who goes through. So everything to play for, and a lot of mistake on the ground at the moment. Yeah, exciting times, and what can I say? It's finally taken place.
Great pass there by Ngoni to find Mokanedi, but she was a bit off balance there, threw away the possession. So can Kenya get one last point on the board as we wind down to the last 10 seconds here? And unfortunately for the Kenyan player there, Mary Zakayo, she wasn't able to convert, and that will be the end of the game. So South Africa get their first win on this 2021 Commonwealth Games 3x3 wheelchair basketball qualifying tournament, and they will be back to play against Kenya a bit later in what could be a decider. So let's stay tuned for that. Thank you very much, Charles. I'm sure we'll chat again a bit later on. And to the viewers out there, we'll be back shortly with the matchup between South Africa and their neighbouring country, Namibia. Namibia taking on host nation South Africa in the men's section. Let's put our hands together and welcome to the floor from Namibia, player number 2, Timus Festus. Player number 4, Kamenya Kapuma. Player number 6, Ingo David. And player number 8, Rudy Gawase. And introducing our host nation, welcome to the floor. Number 6, Alan Ratatase. Number 10, Rakhetsi Moleti. Number 14, Cecil Dumont. And number 15, Samanga Mbele. Multitasking.
I can see.
Welcome back to the Vodacom Mandeville Indoor Sports Centre here in Johannesburg, South Africa, as host nation South Africa take on Namibia. And joining me in the commentary booth, I'd like to welcome Mr. Gareth Jasson. Gareth is the tournament director for Basketball South Africa, so the able-body organisation that Wheelchair Basketball South Africa falls under. Gareth, welcome to Wheelchair Basketball. How are you finding the setup so far with this 3x3 version of the wheelchair game?
I think it's actually absolutely awesome. I mean, I saw play just now that astounded me, and it's a simple 1-2 play, but the guys just executed it so well, and it's absolutely awesome.
Gareth, you look after competitions for Basketball South Africa. Any exciting competitions coming up that we should know about?
Yeah, thanks. There are two competitions coming up now. There's one local that's actually happening today throughout the country, which is the Women's National Club Champs, and that has got its conclusion not the following weekend, but the weekend after next, the 23rd, I think it is, and that will then determine our top women's club in South Africa. And then, oddly enough, at the same time, we've got the Basketball Africa League qualifiers that are happening also in Johannesburg, and we're looking to a couple of teams coming to join the South African team, being Cape Town Tigers, in playing in the Basketball Africa League qualifier.
And of course, the Basketball Africa League is obviously an exciting venture between the NBA and of course FIBA. The first installment, and unfortunately South Africa weren't there, so it's good to see that the teams are starting to get their houses in order, and hopefully we'll see South Africa back in the international arena, competing against some of the big powerhouses of Africa.
No, exactly. I mean, we're obviously quite proud of our basketball heritage in South Africa. We've had a bit of a tough time of it of late, but look, you can only go off and work on it and get it done. So that's where we're sitting at the moment. We've worked hard to get to this point, and we're looking to make sure that we host a great competition, but not just that, to make sure that we actually, from a South African perspective at least, go through to the next stage.
Good to hear that, Gareth. So just back to the action here. South Africa early lead against Namibia. Obviously Namibia brand new to the international scene here in wheelchair basketball, and South Africa of course quite experienced, so they would, on paper, should be favourites for this game, and an early lead there. Mangambele putting the Namibian player there, who is Gawaseb. Gawaseb is unable to hold onto possession, knocks the ball out, so South Africa will have the put in. Gareth, from the mother body perspective, basketball South Africa, how have you been impressed with the way that wheelchair basketball South Africa has managed to put on events like this?
So from a wheelchair basketball perspective, the events are absolutely, as I said, absolutely amazing. It's always good to come through and watch, but the organisation of the events is absolutely awesome. And I think that's the one thing that impresses everybody around coming to watch the wheelchair events and participating in the events. Obviously everything is a little bit different from the able-bodied side, but irrespective, the action's hot, and I'm glad to say from a partisan perspective, South Africa seems to do very well in the wheelchair game.
Good defensive work there by Simanga Mbele, and South Africa lead by 7 points to 0, and stoppage in play as referee Waylon Fakado, the Ethiopian representative here, goes to the table to see what the problem is. Technical foul is called against South Africa's number 15, Simanga Mbele. Not quite sure what that was for, and maybe I need to correct it. Confusion on court. Sorry, the technical foul obviously didn't go against Simanga Mbele, it was against the Namibians. I think the technical foul was for them being over points. I think Gareth, for the people maybe watching this live stream that have never watched wheelchair basketball, the biggest difference is the classification system that wheelchair basketball has, and it allows people with all different disabilities the opportunity to play at the same time. So, from a coaching perspective, coaches have to be quite. They've got to have a bit of a mathematical mind to work out combination and points. In that particular case, the Namibians got it wrong. So back to the action. In terms of the development, obviously talking from a southern zone, maybe in able-bodied basketball, what is the state of play in the southern zone of Africa at the moment, Gareth?
So I think coming out of COVID, it's actually still in COVID for a lot of countries, the development has been quite muted. I think we are now seeing a return to basketball activities where more formal basketball activities. I think people going out and shooting hoops has never really gone away, even during COVID. When we could do it individually, but now formal basketball activities returning, and I think we're looking quite good. Renewed interest in the sport. We've in South Africa seen a bit of a challenge to the status quo with new teams coming on board. And I believe that is coming through in the rest of Southern Africa. Having said that, though, is you see the old favourites, Bravehearts, you see Favario, you see the teams coming through that we know and love, but you also see some challenges coming through in that space as well. So I think we're looking decent, but as with all these things, just when you think you're there, you get shown up. So I think it's important that we keep on pushing hard for not just the established clubs and established teams, but also for new entrants into the space to develop the sport and to do well within the sport.
All right, Cecil Dumont, the South African team captain, finds a space. Can he convert? And he does. South Africa will certainly look to try and finish this game off as quick as they can. They're aiming for the 21 points. They've still got plenty of time to do that. And Namibia working hard to try and get some points in this game. But as we mentioned, new to the wheelchair basketball family, so still a lot of work. 2-point shot comes up, doesn't drop. Not a bad attempt there. Had to throw it up because of the shot clock. Puts up the shot, doesn't drop. Mbele, quick pass out to Matatase, also unable to convert. It's a thorn in the side of the South African team in many tournaments. Failure to convert their sort of clear-cut opportunities. And I think the 3x3 version will hopefully get them to improve that going into the 5-on-5 version. Gareth, in terms of exciting youth coming through from the able-body side, from a South African perspective, I know that you guys have recently selected your under-17 teams, and they've just been in camp of late. Exciting talent coming out of South Africa.
So I think we always struggle. You've got to measure it up against other countries. But from our perspective, I think we've got some decent talent coming up. We've got some, the Gauteng boys team, for instance. There is a nice combination of height in that team, and that is translated into the SA national team. So we've got some decent tall players in that space. Some good forwards, maybe even a centre or two. From a point guard perspective, some pretty decent point guards coming through. Maybe a little bit shy on the shooting guard side, but point guard's very good. On the women's side, again, some pretty exciting talent coming through on the bigs. A very exciting point guard coming through on the girls, all the way from Gauteng. And hopefully we can gauge or judge the talent that we've got at the actual Lesotho event, which I think is going to be quite exciting for all parties, not just South Africa, obviously.
It sounds promising, and from a wheelchair basketball perspective, a lot of exciting youngsters also coming through the ranks. Still an area that Wheelchair Basketball South Africa are working on, schools development, so quite exciting times coming through from the African continent. South Africa at the moment on court, 11 points to 0 up against their neighbours Namibia. And Bailey will put up a 2-point attempt, doesn't drop, and Matatase working hard to pick up the rebound. Thought about passing it to Moletti, the number 10. Thought better against it, sets himself up for the shot. Doesn't drop. Good work there by Samanga Mbele. And eventually, Moletti will get his chance and turn to his teammate and say, "Why didn't you find me earlier?" Mbele takes a breather. Of course, this version of the game can be quite tiring on the players. So the beauty about it, we have rolling substitutions, so the players can quickly sub on and off.
No, I think that's a great thing for the players to be able to do. But maybe you just want to tell me a little bit more about the point system.
So, when you talk about the point system, the scoring system or the classification system?
The classification.
So that's a good question there, Gareth. So in 3x3 basketball, the classification maximum points that you can have on court is 8.5 points. So for those that aren't aware, each player will be classified depending on their disability. So using the South African team as an example, player number 14 there, Cecil de Mont, he's a 1.5 pointer. Alan Matatasi, the South African number 6, he's also a 1.5. Samango Mbele, the number 15 for South Africa, he's a 4-pointer. And Rakhetsi Moleti is a 3-pointer. So at any one time on court, they cannot exceed 8.5 points. So most of the countries here have actually sort of put their squads together where they won't have to think about the combinations. But again, in the 5-on-5 version, it becomes a very key factor. And if they found to exceed points on court, the team gets a technical foul. So that's, in a nutshell, explains the classification point system.
It's a lot more to think about than for the able-bodied game. I'll tell you
Yes,
that one, I think.
we like to say that the wheelchair basketball coaches are a little bit more intelligent than the able-bodied coaches.
Definitely nothing wrong with that.
All right, just over 3 minutes 40 to play here in this encounter between South Africa and Namibia. South Africa lead 12 points to 1. Looking to close out and pick up their second win. Coming up after this encounter, we will have the match between the Kenyan men and the Rwandan men. Kenya gave South Africa a tough encounter in their first match. Rwanda so far have struggled, and Kenya would certainly look to be the favourites for this next encounter. Moleti finds Dumont. Dumont converts, and South Africa 13, Namibia 1.
What I really love about this game is the fact that you can use your chair to gain tactical advantage. And,
Absolutely.
And it really impresses me how some of the guys actually just have got that awareness of how to use the chair. And they just seem to be able to get themselves into a great position.
Exactly. Good work there by Moleti. Drew the foul and converted, so he'll go to the line to try and extend South Africa's lead to 15 points to 1 with just over 3 minutes to go. It's looking likely that South Africa could make the 21 points. Score 14 points to 1. One of the rules in the 3x3 version of the game is deliberate delay, so the Namibians will need to be careful here, otherwise they will find themselves with a technical foul. Rakhetsi Moleti for South Africa. Closely watched there by Timus Festus from Namibia. Mbele now finds Dumont. Dumont converts quite easily. Timeout is going to be called now. Oh, sorry, the shot clock went off, and but the shot had gone up in time. Moleti picks up the rebound for South Africa. Moves quickly to get over the arc. Mbele sets up the pick and finds the ball back, and shot goes up. Referee says that it didn't get up in time, and a shot clock violation.
Irrespective of that, though, that's a great move.
Yes.
And you see them doing it time and time again, and the Namibians have got no answer for that move.
Good defensive work there on that occasion by Mbele. Gawaseb unable to connect the pass, and now foul against the Namibians. So just over 2 minutes to play in this encounter. South Africa lead by 15 points to 1. Of course, out of bounds ball in 3x3. Any inbound will come from the 3x3 Affinity logo that you see on the court. No balls will be put in from the sideline. Shot goes up from Namibia. 2-point attempt there by the Namibian number 8, Gawaseb, but of an air ball, and South Africa will pick it up with Moletti, finds Mbele, plenty of time to make sure. 16 points to 1, South Africa with 1:46 to play in this game. Good work in defense there by Dumont, but recovered well by Gawasep, and Namibia unable to convert. Dumont to Moletti. Moletti will think about the two, but then rather plays it in to Cecil Dumont, unable to convert, but his club teammate Mbele was called for the 3-second violation. So Gareth, thank you for joining us here this morning, and we wish you, from a basketball South Africa perspective, a good tournament coming up with the BAL qualifiers, and looking forward to seeing South Africa back on the international scene.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I think we need to get you out and come commentate at the Bell.
We can arrange that.
All good, all good. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Gareth. All right, so with just over a minute to play, South Africa looked like they will close out this game quite convincingly, 17-1. And Alan Matutase puts up a shot. South Africa 18, Namibia 1. Mbele picks up the loose ball. Finds Matutase, quick pass through to Dumont. It's 19 points to 1, South Africa. Matutase to Mbele, unable to convert. Shot clock violation against Namibia, so South Africa will look to put up at least one more shot here. Loose pass by Mbele, deflected out by the Namibian, so you'll have another attempt. Two-point shot by Mbele, and that will end the game. South Africa hit the 21-point mark with 6.1 seconds to go. It's a convincing victory there by South Africa, defeating their neighbours Namibia, and claim their second victory of this qualifiers. And coming up next, we have the encounter between Kenya and Rwanda. So we'll be back shortly. Welcome back to the Vodacom Mandeville Indoor Sports Centre here in Johannesburg, South Africa. Next up we have the encounter between Rwanda men and Kenya. Please put your hands together and welcome onto court for Rwanda, number 4, Hakizimana Emmanuel. Number 5, Munyaneza Diodone. Number 6, Murira Hashimu. Number 7, Wampunga Mejak. Introducing the team from Kenya. Number 4, Adio Otieno. Number 5, Itaken Keplian. Number 14, Robert Ngugi. And number 13, James Kangete. Right, back to the action here in Johannesburg. Kenya taking on Rwanda, and with possession now we have Kenya. Itakin Kiplian finds Audio. He converts, first points on the board for Kenya. Rwanda with number 6 there for Rwanda. Hashimo unable to convert. Mashak for Rwanda showed too much of the ball to Kiplian, and he quickly grabbed position. Very strong player, physique-wise for the Kenyans is Kiplian. Mashak puts up the shot. Rebound collected by Kiplian. Sends it out to number 14, Robert Ngugi. And Kenya extend their lead now to 3 points, 2-0. Rwanda with their captain Mashak. The lacks of concentration there. Ball going off the chair of Muhira Hashimu. Of course, Kenya going down in the first match to South Africa, putting up a good account of themselves there, and they'll be looking to get their first W of the tournament and look to gain some momentum going towards the final stages. As I said earlier, format of the competition, it's a round robin including all 5 countries taking part, and at the end of the day the team with the top 2 teams will compete in the final, and the winner of that particular final will go through to the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. And just for those of you that might be wondering which countries are taking part here, obviously other countries in Africa that aren't part of the Commonwealth are unable to participate here in Johannesburg, so only the Commonwealth countries are able to take part in the Commonwealth Games. So countries, for example, like Egypt, Algeria, Morocco. They will get their opportunity next year when IWBF Africa launches their 3x3 African tour. I have no doubt though, all the viewers watching throughout Africa will be keeping a close eye on the proceedings here and seeing how the game works, so that come the 3x3 series next year, they will be ready to take part. And the good thing for the teams taking part here is that they would have had this experience and can work on improving. Kenya with Itakin, Kipelin, James Kangate there converts for Kenya. Kenya 5, Rwanda 0. Fancy footwork there by referee Mahmoud Hassan. A loose ball rolls onto the court. With Majak struggling to break the Kenyan defense. Kenya, of course, putting them under a lot of pressure. 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Shot goes up. Didn't hit the ring, so shot clock violation. Kenya pick up the possession again. Kiplian will check the ball in for Kenya. Puts up the shot. Doesn't drop. Good rebound there by one of the smaller players on the court for Rwanda. Meshak. Foul there called against James Kangete. Foul against the Kenyans. Ball put in there by the number 4 for Rwanda is Hakizimana Emmanuel. Itakin, Kipelin on the ball now for Kenya. Robert Nguji, but took too long, and shot clock violation. This call against Kenyans, and looks like a timeout might have been called. Yes, timeout called by the Rwandans, and at the moment Kenya still lead 5-0 with just under 7 minutes to play. Back to the action, and Rwanda will put the ball in. Number 4 for Rwanda there, Emmanuel, quite animated with his teammates. Bit of frustration now for the Rwandans, not able to make an impact yet in this game. Kenya with Kipelin puts up a good shot and converts, so Kenya extend their lead to 6 points to 1. Foul called against Kipelin. Meshak for Rwanda doesn't drop. Kipelin Rebound picked up by Kangete. Now Majak for Rwanda. Can he get it something to go here with the Rwandans? Diodone there, the number 5 for Rwanda, but loses possession. Kipelin unable to collect that pass, and Emmanuel for Rwanda. Bit scrappy at the moment. Pass is not finding them in. A couple of turnovers. And Kenya now looking to extend their lead. Kagete puts up a shot just in time. Basket will count. 7 points they lead to the one of Rwanda. Mashak, the captain. Shot clock running down. 1 second. Got the shot up in time, and the Kenyan player Kangete unable to claim the ball and knocks the ball out for Rwanda. Put in at the checkbox. A fumble pass there, but it worked out for Rwanda in the end, and Mashak puts up a shot. Doesn't drop, and Kenyan number 14 Nguji turns the ball over. No look pass there from Majak. Gets it back. Looking for the foul. More theatrical. Referee Hassan not interested. Kiplian to Odeo. Foul against the Rwandan, and Odeo Otieno to the line for Kenya. Converted, and just under 4.5 minutes to play in this encounter between Kenya and Rwanda. Rwanda looking to put some points up, and foul against Itakin Kepelin, and Rwandan player Diodone will go to the line. Coming up next will be the encounter between host nation South Africa and the newest member of IWBF, Gambia. Gambia put in an impressive performance earlier against the Rwandans, based on the fact that they only arrived late last night, so they didn't show any signs of travel weariness, and they'll be looking to see if they can upset the South Africans. Otieno there puts up a shot, won't count, and Rwanda will have the check-in. Timeout called, and Kenya leads Rwanda by 9 points to 1. Just under 4 minutes to play. Okay, so can Rwanda get some points on the board here? On the ball, is the captain, Mishak. Plays it across to number 4, Emmanuel. Shot goes up, and Otieno picks up the ball, takes it himself. Not much on the defensive end there from Rwanda. Emmanuel on the ball for Rwanda. Under pressure though by Otieno, and turns the ball over. Kenya now with possession. Kiplian, the Maasai warrior from Kenya, converts there. So Kenya now 11, Rwanda 1, and we're going into the last 3 minutes of this game. Otieno for Kenya, puts up the shot, doesn't drop, but does some good work to pick it up, bounces off the chair of Kiplian, and he eventually manages to grab the possession, but took too long, and the shot clock violation means that Rwanda will now have an opportunity to try and get another point. Mejak, the Rwandan captain, puts up the shot, doesn't drop. Nguji found Otieno, rebound picked up by Rwanda, but rush past there, turns the ball over, quick ball back in by Nguji, and Otieno converts. Kenya 12, Rwanda 1, and just over 2 minutes left in this encounter. So Amanda next up on court, host nation South Africa. They're taking on the newcomers from the northwest of Africa, Gambia. Nguji finds Otieno, and he will convert. Kenya 14, Rwanda 1. Timeout called. Just over 1 minute 40 to play in this encounter. Jacques, the Rwandan captain, puts the second point on the board for Rwanda, and now with the rebound will clear the arc and try and get something else going for Rwanda. Loose pass though, shakes his head, knows he will need to do better, and Kenya will put the ball in with Otieno. He finds Nguji to Itakin Kiplian. Kenya 15, Rwanda 2. Itakin Majaka there, got checked there by Otieno. Better defensive work there by the Rwandan captain Majak. Otieno with the shot, doesn't drop, rebound picked up by Majak, and tries to find his teammate Emmanuel Ashimo. Majak had to put the shot up with the shot clock running down, and unsuccessful there. So Kenya with just over 30 seconds left in this encounter will have another opportunity to extend their lead. Otieno puts up the 2-point attempt, doesn't drop, rebound picked up by Nguji. Loose ball out, and Kenya, unfortunately for them, did not clear the arc, so that won't count. Rwanda with Captain Majak. Good shot there by Majak, and he registers Rwanda's 3rd point. Otieno once again sends their lead 16-3 to Kenya, and that will be the end of the game with almost. Coming up next, we've got South African men taking on Gambia. All right, that's the end of that game. So Kenya register their first win of this 2021 Commonwealth Games 3x3 wheelchair basketball qualifiers here in Johannesburg. With a convincing 16 points to 3 win against tournament and IWBF newcomers Rwanda. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Vodacom Mandeville Indoor Sports Centre here in Johannesburg. 2021 Commonwealth Games 3x3 wheelchair basketball qualifiers. Next up on court, we have host nation South Africa taking on Gambia. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and welcome on court for Gambia, number 9, Malang Tamba. Number 3, Salifu Kajabi. Number 11, Ibrima Sise. Number 8, Ibrima Mbai. And let's welcome on to court for South Africa. Number 6, Alan Matatase. Number 10, Rachetsi Molete. Number 14, Cecil Dumont. And number 15, Simanga Mere. All right, South Africa versus Gambia, and first points on the board for South Africa, Samanga Mbele, and fouled in the act of shooting, so he'll go straight to the line. Of course, Gambia, newcomers to this tournament, along with the likes of Rwanda and Namibia. Alright, sorry, back to the action. Bit of a interruption in commentary there. Rakete Moleti for South Africa. Unable to get past the Gambian player there. Looking for the foul, but nothing given. South Africa leading 2-0. Problem with the shot clock, so the referee's just trying to correct that. Gambia will put possession in. Of course, first ever encounter between South Africa and Gambia in wheelchair basketball. So a lot of firsts happening here in Johannesburg at the moment. And for a new nation coming into IWBF, Gambia looking quite impressive. Gambia in position there. Number 9 for Gambia, of course, is Malang Tamba. Shot clock violation. Foul called against Gambia. Moleti unable to get the shot up, so he will put the ball in again. Mbele working hard to team up there with Moleti. He finds Matatase and he converts. So South Africa 3, Gambia 1. Moleti picks up the ball, trying to get through, looking for the foul, eventually coming. Holding foul against Gambia's number 5, Salifu Kujabi. Moleti for South Africa, looking for Mbele, puts it out to Mtatase. Foul called against the Gambian number 8, Ibrima Mbeyi. Stoppage in play as one of the Gambian players adjusts his wheels and gets him back on track. Moleti for South Africa. Closely watched by Gambia's number 5 there, Kujabi. Matatasi looks for Mbele, and Mbele converts. So South Africa send their lead 4 points to 1. Looks like it could be South Africa's put in. Rachetsi Moleti for South Africa. The Amawila boys finds Cecil Demont. Extends South Africa's lead. 5 South Africa, Gambia 1. All 3 players on the court at the moment play for the Polosco Lions Club in South Africa, as Gambian number 9 there is Tamba. He's unable to make that shot count, and South Africa back with possession. Mbele to Molete, back to Mbele, and he converts. So good interplay there between Molete and Mbele, and they grab the possession back. Almost a mix up there, but Molete recovered well. Finds Mbele, had to shoot and it drops. A bit of a Hail Mary there, and Mbele will take that happily. South Africa 7, Gambia 1. Molete putting the Gambian number 11 Cisse under pressure. Kuchabi unable to get something up in time, and South Africa will pick up possession. 7 points to South Africa, 1 to Gambia. Rachetsi Moleti. Timeout now called. Gives me an opportunity just to thank once again our broadcast sponsor for this 2021 Commonwealth Games 3x3 qualifiers here in Johannesburg, South Africa. Big shout out to Cecil, proud sponsor of Wheelchair Basketball South Africa, as well as a lot of events happening around Africa for IWBF Africa. Moleti now to Mbele. Mbele will convert. South Africa 9, Gambia 1. Timeout called. Right, back to the action here. Rachetsi Moleti for South Africa, trying to muscle his way into the zone, and good work there. Was fouled by the Gambian player there, number 3, Salifu Kujabi. Dumont drew the foul. So Gambia in foul trouble, and South Africa will be able to extend their lead if Dumont can convert this free throw. Probably not one you would want to watch again, as it didn't even touch the rim. There's another attempt. Better on that occasion. So South Africa 10, Gambia 1. And stoppage in play as the table officials call the referee to the table. Technical foul called on Gambia by the looks of it. I think again over points. bit of confusion at the moment on court. Luckily, IWBF 3x3 head Luke Verhoosen sorting out whatever it is that they need to sort out. All right, looks like all has been rectified, and Rakhetsi Moleti now for South Africa will try and convert his free throw attempt for the technical foul. And now South Africa lead by 10 points, 11-1. Moleti again with possession, finds Dumont, showed too much of the ball there to Gambia, and Gambia will pick it up with their number 9 there, Cisse. Sorry, Tumba. Tumba finds his teammate Kujabi. Back to Cisse. Ball out of bounds, so South Africa will pick up the possession. Moleti for South Africa finds Mbele, quick pass out to Dumont, and Dumont converts. South Africa 12, Gambia 1. Samanga Mbele having some issues with his strap, so Alan Matatase will come back into play. Cisse for Gambia, trying to make something happen here for the Northwest Africans, and rebound picked up by Molete. Foul against Salifu Kujabi for Gambia. Moleti now, free throw, unable to make it count. Just over 6 minutes to play. South Africa with a convincing 12 points to 1 lead. Moleti trying to pick up his own rebound, but good work there by Gambia, but loose pass, turnover ball, and South Africa will have another possession. Rakhetsi Moleti for South Africa. Finds Dumont. Dumont draws the foul, and Gambia are in foul trouble, so there will be 2 shots. Frustration visible by the Gambian player, and quite an animated player at that. Another technical foul is now called against Gambia, so Alan Matatase converts comfortably, and South Africa now 13, Gambia 1, just under 5 minutes to play. Dumont now with a free throw. Obviously another technical infringement called. So Gambia will just need to compose themselves and not get carried away with their frustration. And South Africa now 14, Gambia 1. Molete to Matatase. Finds Dumont. Dumont will look to convert. South Africa 15, Gambia 1, and just over 4.5 minutes left. Looking likely that South Africa will beat the clock and try and get to the 21 points. Just 6 more points to get. Two-point shot there by Molete, and it drops. South Africa now 17, Gambia 1. Of course, in this format of the game, especially when teams are playing quite a few games in one day, it is always beneficial for a team to try and get to 21 points as quickly as possible, allowing them a bit of rest. Matatase tries to put the shot up. Ball rebounds out. Gambia will pick up the possession. Just over 4 minutes to play. South Africa 17, Gambia 1. Pass finds the Gambian player there, Tamba, but he's unable to get the shot up in time, and shot clock violation. So South Africa, Molete. Will he try it again? Shaping up to do so. He does. Doesn't fall this time. He picks up his own rebound and gets a attack on the way, or working with Dumont. Unable to convert. Now Gambia also resorting to the 2-point arc. Unable to drop it. Rebound picked up there by Tamba. And now South Africa. Molete to Matatase. Matatase trying to play in Dumont. He does. Good play there. Good interplay there by South Africa. And they manage now to steal the ball. And Molete. South Africa 18. Gambia 1. 3 minutes to play. Dumont will convert. South Africa 19. Gambia 1. Looks like we could have a early conclusion to this particular encounter. A couple of loose turnover balls now. Probably find the long flight that Gambia endured to get here. It's starting to catch up with their players. Timeout called. South Africa 19, Gambia 1. 2 minutes 51 to play, but it's looking likely this game will be concluded before the clock runs down. Right, back to the action here. Mbele back on court. Finds Molete. Molete puts up the shot. He's looking for the foul, didn't come. And Gambia trying to get in there. Foul called against Raheti Molete. Tamba will try and get some points for Gambia. And Gambia managed to get their second points there through Tamba. Matatase there for South Africa finds Molete. Molete takes South Africa up to 20. So just 1 point needed by South Africa to close off this game. And ball out of play. And South Africa will have opportunity now to finish it off. 21 is of course the cutoff number, and if they reach 21, the game ends at that point. Matatase, one-handed hook shot, doesn't drop, but he'll have the opportunity now to go to the line and try and finish off the game. Coming up next on court, we have South Africa women taking on Kenya women. South Africa winning the first encounter, and if they manage to beat Kenya, they will be the first team to qualify for the 2022 Commonwealth Games. Matatase finishes the game for South Africa. So South Africa finish off their second game on the trot with 21 points, with a convincing victory against Gambia, 21 points to 2. We'll be back shortly with the women's game between South Africa and Kenya. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Birmingham Indoor Sports Centre here in Johannesburg, South Africa, 2021 Commonwealth Games 3x3 wheelchair basketball qualifiers for Africa. Next up, we have the game between South Africa women and Kenya women. Let's welcome onto the court from Kenya, player number 8, Rahel Alar. Number 10, Caroline Wanjiru. Number 5, Eunice Otieno. And number 6, Mary Zakayo. For South Africa, number 4, Aviwe Ngone. Number 6, Sam Kalasiwe Marta. Number 9, Michelle Bokaneli. And number 10, Kelbukhele Moe. All right, welcome back to Johannesburg. We're about to get game 2 of the women's competition underway. As I alluded to earlier, best of 3 series, South Africa winning the first game. And so should South Africa win this particular encounter, they would qualify. Kenya obviously looking now to bounce back from the earlier defeat, and they will be looking to take this third game into a final match, which would see them through to Commonwealth Games should they win that last encounter. Rebounded off her chair, so South Africa will have the possession. Shot Mokaneli for South Africa, finds Moeng, puts up the shot, drops. South Africa get the first points of the encounter. All right, South Africa now with Kelebogile Moeng. Plays for the Northwest Stinging Bees club in South Africa. Wasn't able to get the shot up as the shot clock ran out. Okay, Caroline Wanjiri with the ball now for Kenya. Looking for number 6 there is Mary Zakayo. Shot clock violation, so South Africa will look to try and get some more points on the board and try and get a bit of a lead here against Kenya. Michelle Mokanedi to Aviwe Ngoni, and she puts up the shot, doesn't drop. Looking for the rebound. Zakayo finding Wanjiri. She needs to clear the arc, which she hasn't done yet. Of course, her whole wheelchair needs to clear the arc. But fortunately for her, Moeng tips the ball out. So Kenya will have another opportunity to try and get some points on the board. Shot clock violation. Good defensive work there by South Africa. Michelle Mokanedi for South Africa. Finds Moeng. Moeng needs to convert. Doesn't. And be better off trying to get out the key, but she recovers well. Gets a shot up. South Africa 2. Kenya 0. Turnover ball. Mokanedi now. Finds Ngoni. Ngoni unable to convert, has another attempt. Decides to get it out to Mokanedi, but shot clock violation. And Kenya will pick up the position at the checkbox. Ball tapped out of bounds there by South Africa. Aviwe Ngoni. Rahel Alar trying to get some points there for Kenya, and unlucky for her. Ngoni to Moeng for South Africa. Finds Mbatha. Sam Kalisiwe Mbatha from KwaZulu-Natal. converts, so South Africa 3, Kenya 0. Rahel Alar unable to make it count there for Kenya. South Africa will look to try and extend their lead and pull away from Kenya. Ngoni finds Moeng. Moeng will try and wrestle it out. Must be careful about the 3 seconds. Doesn't come. And Ngoni converts for South Africa. South Africa a little bit fortunate there. Rahel Alar for Kenya. She'll put the ball in for the East Africans, and turnover, plays the ball off her teammate's chair, and South Africa will look to strike quickly and extend their lead. Mbatha now puts up the shot, fouled there on that occasion by Kenya's number 5, Eunice Otieno. So Sam Kilisiwe Mbatha will go to the free throw line, unable to convert. Eunice Otieno, Caroline Wanjiri, Rahel Alar, out of bounds, South Africa possession. Timeout called with left of this game. Wanjiri now for Kenya. Finds Eunice Otieno. Can she convert for Kenya? Unable to do so. Loose pass there by Mbata gives Kenya another opportunity with Caroline Wanjiri. And Otieno fumbles the ball. Picked up by Ngoni. She does well to find Moeng from South Africa, her teammate. And Ngoni. Shot goes up. Can Mbata pick it up? No. Good work there by Caroline Wanjiri for Kenya. Eunice Otieno. And foul's going to be called on South Africa. Rachel Allah will go to the free throw line. South Africa 4, Kenya 0. Technical foul there against Wanjiri was for deliberate delay, according to the referee. So South Africa will have the free throw. Referee Natasha Nono just explaining that to Wanjiri. Again, some of these teams getting used to the new format and some of the slight rule adjustments. As they go deeper into the competition, I'm sure they'll pick up on all of this. Mokhaneri finds Moeng. Moeng puts up the shot, converts. South Africa 5, Kenya 0. Rahal Alar to Wanjiri. She's fouled by Sam Kalisiwe Mbata. Mbata went to the open air school in Durban, one of the well-known schools for disability, and have produced many a Amawila boy and an Amawila girl. South Africa having a very young squad here. The oldest player in the squad is number 10, Moeng, but Mokhaneri, Mbata, as well as Ngoni, all just about 20 years old. So a very young team here, which bodes well for the future for the South Africans. Nice to see some young players coming through the ranks. Mokhaneri to Moeng, trying to find Mbata, but foul called against the Kenyans there. Otieno holding foul, so Mokhaneri will have another chance to launch an attack for South Africa. And she quick pass into Moeng, and Moeng converts. Great work there by Mokhaneri and Moeng. Mokhaneri for South Africa to Moeng. Moeng will put up a one-handed shot, doesn't drop, and Eunice Otieno picks it up for Kenya. Finds Caroline Wanjiri, trying to get it up. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Picked up by Moeng now for South Africa. All the way through, opens up nicely for her. And violation against South Africa because they had not cleared the 2-point arc. So Kenya will pick up the possession now. South Africa lead by 6 points to 0, just over 5 minutes to play, and if Kenya cannot change their fortunes in this particular encounter, their chances of qualifying for next year's 2022 Commonwealth Games is slipping away with just under 5 minutes to play. Moeng finds Aviwe Ngoni. She puts up the shot and converts for South Africa. So South Africa now with a 7-point lead with 4 minutes 50 to play. A bit scrappy at the moment between these two countries. Mokhaneri to Ngoni, puts up the shot, doesn't drop, and Eunice Otieno trying to get out. Good defensive work there by South Africa, making it difficult. And Wanjiri's wheel goes out of bounds, so South Africa will have the ball. Just over 4 minutes to play here. Ngoni pass left a little bit to be desired, and Ngoni was unable to pick it up. And Kenya now with Rachel Alar, and she gets Kenya's first points of this game. So South Africa 7, Kenya 1. Shot goes up by Mokonedi, doesn't drop, but Mawing trying to pick up the rebound, taps it out. So Kenya should have possession. Referees call it the other way. So Mokonedi for South Africa finds Mawing, puts up a one-handed shot. Wanjiri under pressure, does well. Finds Alar, back to Wanjiri. Shot clock down to 4. And Mokonedi manages to prevent Kenya from getting anything, and shot clock violation now. So South Africa with possession. Mokonedi for South Africa. Mawing, loose ball, but Mokonedi does well to pick it up, unable to convert. Wanjiri looking for an outlet pass. Sorry, Otieno finds Wanjiri. Shot clock down to 5. Wanjiri will look to Otieno. She would need to put the ball up, but unable to do so. Good defense there from the South Africans. Using up some valuable time there. South Africa 7, Kenya 1 with 3 minutes to play. So South Africa 3 minutes away from claiming the first position for wheelchair basketball at the Commonwealth Games, should they hold out. And that basket there from Mokonedi makes it the task more difficult now for Kenya. Viwe Ngoni finds Mokonedi. Mokonedi tried to pass it through a wall of players there, didn't find Mawing. Shot clock runs down, so Kenya will have a possession with just under 2.5 minutes to play. South Africa edging their way to the first berth at the Commonwealth Games 2022 in Birmingham, England. Wanjiri shot goes up, unable to convert. Mokonedi looking to find Ngoni. She was held back there by Eunice Otieno. Coming up after this encounter, we have the men's matchup between Namibia and Kenya. Okay, Kenya with the put-in. Mokonedi does well, grabs it away from Caroline Wanjiri. Mawing. Wheel had not cleared the arc, so had that gone in, it wouldn't have counted. Wanjiri. Sorry, Eunice Otieno to Wanjiri. Otieno. 4 seconds on the shot clock. She's going to have to put something up. Instead tries to find Alar, but good work there by Mawing. Quickly clears the arc. Finds Ngoni. Mokonedi puts up the shot. Doesn't drop. Can Ngoni pick up the rebound? Smallest player on the court. Manages to draw the foul. And South Africa will now go to the free throw line as Kenya find themselves in foul trouble. One minute 32 left for South Africa to claim their place in Birmingham 2022 at the Commonwealth Games. Ngoni puts up the free throw, doesn't drop. 1 point player from the Northwest Province here in South Africa. Plays for the Northwest Stinging Bees along with Kelebohile Moeng, the number 10 for South Africa. And Mokanedi, Gauteng Lioness player. Viwe Ngoni extends South Africa's lead. 9-1 now with 1 minute 30 to play. Mokanedi finds Moeng. Puts up a very poor attempt at a shot there, and Kenya come away with Caroline Wanjiru. Shot clock at 4. Kenya really struggling to get anything up, and good defensive work by South Africa. And just over a minute to play. Mokanedi will find Moeng. Moeng looking to convert. She does. South Africa 10. Kenya 1. Caroline Wanjiru. Good work there by young Michelle Moganedi. Ball rebounds off the Kenyan chair. Rahel puts it up, and Kenya get their second point of the game with 33 seconds left. South Africa women team on their way to securing their place in Birmingham 2022. Moeng. Good defensive work there. So stolen there by Mokanedi for South Africa. Finds Ngoni. Unable to convert, picks up her own rebound, finds Moeng. Can Moeng convert, finish it off for South Africa? And that is the end of the game. And big congratulations to the Amawila girls, the first team to qualify for the 2020 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, and they will join the hosts, England. And we will now wait to see which of the men's teams can join the South African women teams in the 2022 Commonwealth Games. We'll be right back for the next game between Namibia and Kenya.